Welcome back to the channel, guys, with
Enricomaria.
Who did?
First place in Bologna region.
Okay, very nice. What did you play?
I played the Dark King Rayleigh.
Okay, common leader. Nice start.
Best leader.
Nice start. Okay, I see. Okay, so do you mind showing us the list?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to it.
Most part will be quite stable. We start with the searchers.
Yeah.
For Shaku, for Buggy, for Nami.
So maxed out searcher?
Yeah, maxed out because you want max consistency with the deck. You always start. I never bricked during the turn, never, because it's too consistent. You play these together with the event. You search. You have 20 searchers in the deck, and some searchers can find other searchers.
Okay, so
it's really consistent.
So you never bricked in the tournament?
No.
Okay.
Some people doesn't play Nami, but I think it gives a lot of consistency to the deck, and you can kind of play some control games if you play so many searchers. So I think it's mandatory to play this now.
Okay.
Stable cards. This card is the reason why it exists.
Of course, yeah.
Then of course the Sanjis. This card is insane since it came out. Every red deck I think it plays this card.
Of course.
It's the best target
to summon
with Luffy,
yeah.
and then you can search with Nami and the zero cost event. So it's pretty good. 2 cost package. It's quite unusual. Most people is playing 4 of Sanji. This is the 2K, just the alta. They think it's the best strat, but actually this card I think it's mandatory in the deck because it gives consistency to the whole thing. It gives you basically 2 extra targets for Shaku and Boa, because this also is searchable of this. And sometimes you have the Luffy in hand without target to summon, and then with this you can really find those. Because sometimes a lot of people, if they have like one searcher between Shaku and Boa and Luffy, they just wait 1 turn because they don't have target. But with this one you can hit this other one. Okay. And it creates a lot of good spots in the deck because with the effect you can attach 2 dawns, and especially against Zoro, for example, sometimes on 5 dawns you just play this and play the Luffy, then you attach 2 dawns, and then if the rest is, you can stay 1 dawn open for Conqueror Saki, and they cannot 8 on 6. So otherwise it would be 4. So it's pretty good. A lot of times I found myself like swinging with this, and then they said, okay, you didn't assign dawns because you want to develop, and then I just play this guy. And it doesn't die to strike, but never happened. Maybe against the Snake Man, it's good. This is quite stable. Everybody's playing 2 and 2. I saw some people like Josh Impact, also shout out to him. He gave me some good ideas. It's mandatory, of course, because you play Nami, so you want to hit 18 searchers. So my targets are 18, 18, and 24 for both. Okay. So it's quite. I like to be very precise. And then Kid and Killer is. I will play 4 of this, but you cannot search this of Nami, so I need consistency. So I play 2 and 2. It's very easy to put your opponents at 2 lives, so this is always the same. Then we have the events, a lot of things. So this is the strongest card in the deck. Doesn't make sense. It's just +2, -1 to the board. It's sometimes I had like I just wait the whole game with 3 in my hands. I go to 0. They have like 3 big guys on board. They still don't win because it's too much. Yeah, usually a lot of people I think they don't get fully the power of this card because they don't use it mid game. A lot of times you can always stay with 1 dawn open and just save your whole board. And you force your opponent to do quite odd attacks. So it's very annoying, and most decks they play on curve, so they cannot afford to play around this. Then we have the 4 searchers. It's very good, and most of the times when I search, I put the cards in a way that I will find them in the late game. Okay, so you do cycle through your deck? Yes, you cycle twice, like once for sure, you see the whole deck, twice even some games. Sometimes? Sometimes 3 as well, but you need to see all the searches. So this, some people is playing 4 of one and 2 of the other, or like the ratio is usually like 4 and 2 or something like that. Some people is playing 4 of this. As I thought, a lot of people is playing around this card, and you really only need 1 during the game, so like consistency to see it, but like everything can search it. So to be honest, I was fine with 3. Most of the times I use this as a 2 case. Sometimes in some matchups it's good to pump, like to cheat 1 down, but most of the times these are 2 case, are the easiest card to discard to save yourself. I'm also very greedy, I take a lot of damage with the deck. I usually go to 3 very easily. Okay, and then in some matchups I go to 2 like instant. They do 555, I take all. And then I play with like 10 cards in my hand.
So you could play like Luigi, basically Black Luigi gameplay.
Because then they will need to start swinging your board because otherwise they die. So it doesn't make sense to save life because then in the late game you can just stack the Conquerors and they won't do anything to you.
I see.
Then the last 4, so 2 Mulgan. Some people is playing 3. To be honest, if you play the deck a lot, you will see that
They're not needed at 3.
I mean, you find it always because you play
so many
20 searchers with the event as well. But like you can always play around it, so it's not really mandatory to see it twice. If you only see one, or if you send it on bottom in the early game because you need to search something else, you will play accordingly. So it's a very skilled to play with 2. To be honest, I don't have the slot to play a third one, but if I could play 51 maybe, but I don't know. It's really good against Bonnie. That is one of the toughest matchups. But against the rest, it's okay. And then the last 2 cards, this card I think most people knows. I was only playing 1, same reason, you can search it with everything. I used it a couple times to go for lethal. I was thinking that somebody would bring a Snake Man to the event, and I think this is really important. And in fact, I faced 2 Snake Men. It's good to push, and also in the mirror match it's good to push because you need to put your opponent at 0. A lot of matchups you need to put
so
your opponent at 0.
You're happy with one-off?
Yeah, I think it's really good the one-off. You can play a bit more defensively and carry it for some defensive events, but to be honest, I think it's since you search so much, it's good to have some one-offs.
I see.
And then the last one, the card that everybody after the game they told me, you play also that, and it's Radical Beam, one-off.
Radical Beam, I see.
It's crazy because when you play against this deck, you always have to go +3 because of the Conqueror Sagi. So they will go, for example, 8 on 5. And when they go 8 on 5, you just Radical Beam.
Oh,
and that's why I also take the full damage. I go to 2 and then I enable this one. So when they go 8 on 5 and you Radical Beam, they just die. Like,
happens in the tournament?
It happened quite sometimes.
Okay.
And sometimes you just add it to the hand and your opponent will just go like they don't know anymore how to like that. Do I have to go 5, 8, 9?
I see.
So it was a really good. You can play 2 if you cut the Gatling, if a Snake Man fades away. But I think I wouldn't change anything after today. It was very consistent.
So the list stays the same?
I was never in a spot where I said if I had this card, but to be honest, there is not really anything else. Some people is playing Brook instead of the 2-cost Luffy. I like the Luffy for consistency.
Did you make any last minute change to the list?
No, I locked the list I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I see.
I was very consistent. I was playing into Josh Impact. He was playing for Zoro for consistency as well. But I didn't want to give up the Kid and Killer, so in the end I went with very standard.
Thank you very much. Do you have any shoutouts?
Shoutouts, of course, to my boy Declan. He's my best pal for testing and everything, together with all the other guys from Rome. I want to shout out the guys from Rome, from Carpi as well, everybody. Also the guys from Naples, Johnny as well, Frank. Gianluca.
Thank you very much, Enrico, for the list. See you in the next one. See you.
Bye.